Welcome children. This is Deepa Fadke. This session we will be learning 1.6 lesson Alchemy of Nature. Let's read the meanings first. Instinctively, by a natural instinct, enhancing, enriching, of great wonder or amazement, wilting, drying and dropping, withers, dries and dry, colossal, huge, massive. Chapter was over means dead. Conviction means strong, firm belief. Lugging, pulling with great difficulty. Frail feelers, weak legs. Perseverance, constant efforts in spite of obstacle. Consistent, steady. Unhindered, without disturbance. Alchemy, mysterious bar or magic that can change things. The name of the lesson is Alchemy of Nature. It's written by Raksha Bharadia. Raksha Bharadia is an Indian author and editor. She has published books like Me, A Handbook for Life, and All and Nothing. She has also edited and compiled 13 titles of the Chicken Soup series for the Indian audience. She is the founder of a relationship-centered website called bonopology.com. Today, we are going to learn a lesson Alchemy of Nature, which tells us about, which unfolds the magic, miracle, the alchemy of nature. Let's begin the lesson. Alchemy of Nature by Raksha Bharadia. In the beginning, there is an extract given by William Blake's poem, Auguries of Innocence. Let's read those lines. To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hands and eternity in an hour. Let's learn the meaning of the given lines. Something as tiny as a grain of sand can spark off an idea or imagination of a huge significance to the world. One can witness and experience the beauty of heaven in something as small as wildflower and derive joy forever. Only one should have the eyes and time to see it. Infinity is endless space, but your small palm can hold the destiny of earth through your efforts. Eternity is endless time, but just an hour in your life can make a difference to the world forever. Great deeds can surpass the limits of time and space. They never die. The implication is that heaven is so huge, so that a single flower is tiny reflection of a much greater beauty. For William Blake, both these tiny things, like grain of sand and the flower, each of them reflects and contains aspect of the whole. The God is there in the flower. The God himself has made the grain of sand, which is itself a whole world. In short, it's our lack of imagination, children, which holds us back. One should have the feeling, one should have the urge, one should have the eyes and time to look at the nature, to look at the universe. Only then we get connected like a child with his innocence. If we get connected with the nature, then definitely that means we get connected with the divine. Let's read these two paragraphs. We instinctively turn to outdoor activities and nature as a way of relaxing and enhancing our well-being. Nature soothes and nurtures. Nature fulfills and motivates. Nature whispers and commands. Are you listening? When I do, it leaves me in complete awe. We have a hibiscus plant in our garden. Every fortnight a flower blooms on it, big, bright, tender. Through the day it smiles with the sun and dances with the wind. But as evening approaches, it starts wilting. The morning after, it withers completely, and by evening it falls and becomes one with the earth again. The flower comes to life only for a day, yet it does so in full splendor. What if we too lived our life, however short, to its fullest? In this paragraph, the writer highlights the importance of nature in our lives. The writer explains how humans can learn lessons of life by merely observing the objects in nature around them. The author mentions that outdoor activities and nature are the two things we turn to when we want to relax and enhance our well being. Nature is our ultimate source of nourishment and motivation. The writer mentions the flower of a hibiscus plant that blooms every fortnight. Despite the fact that the flower lives only for a day, it lives its life magnificently. The writer suggests that we too should live our lives the same way. Let's read the next part. We went to a rocky beach and saw the spread of the majestic ocean and the rocks alongside, carved, sculpted, and shaped by the water. Water is so gentle, rock so hard, yet as the water flows over it every day for years, the rock gives in. It takes the shape that the water commands. Our problems are so colossal and we are so small. Yes, if we persist. We saw small bits of grass peeping through the small cracks in a concrete pavement. It left us thinking, however impossible things may look, there is always an opening. Further, the writer talks about a rocky beach where the water of the majestic ocean is gentle, but it has the power to shape the rocks as it consistently flows over them for years. Similarly, our problems may be big, may be colossal, but if we stay determined, we might just be able to overcome them, just like the small bits of grass. It is so strong enough to grow through the cracks of the concrete pavement. We too can find opportunity and we too can go ahead. No matter how impossible things may seem, we can always find a way. We can always overcome it. Let's read the next paragraph. We saw a tree bare of all leaves in the cold winter months. We thought its chapter was over. But 3 months passed, spring set in, and the tree was back to its green majesty once again, full of leaves, flowers, birds, and life. What if we too had the conviction that, however difficult things are right now, it will not remain so forever? Remember, this too shall pass. Children, even a tree that has lost all its leaves in winter turns again green at the onset of spring. We too should have faith that no matter how difficult things are or things appear to be, they would eventually get better. Let's read next paragraph. We saw an army of ants lugging a fly, which was at least 10 times the ant's size. The ants organized themselves around the fly, lifted it on frail feelers, and carried it to quite a distance. Their teamwork and perseverance were impressive. What if we too are consistent, organized, focused? Spider webs are delicate, yet very strong. The writer mentions that an army of ants carry a fly 10 times its size, and this is possible only because they are consistent, organized, and focused. Spider webs are delicate, yet very strong. A rainbow colors the entire sky. Oysters take in a grain of sand. They open up with a pull. Innumerable stars shine across the infinite sky. Clouds take new shapes with every passing moment. The wind makes trees dance with unhindered passion. Water, without hint of ego, changes its form according to the dictates of the sun and the wind. When we see a caterpillar turn into a butterfly, a flower turn into a fruit, we experience the alchemy of nature. We touch it and become gold ourselves. The writer expresses that everything in nature, right from the spiders to oysters, from stars and clouds to the wind and the trees, possess a quality that we need to imbibe, we need to inculcate, we need to adapt. The alchemy of nature is such that it urges people to become the best version of themselves. That's the reason the writer tells at the end of the lesson, she says, we touch that nature, we look at that nature, we look at it and we become gold ourselves. That's the reason she says to become the best version of ourselves. It is the alchemy of nature that helps us. There are n number of examples given by the writer to all of us, to the readers. Look at the example of a hibiscus flower. What is the lifespan of that flower? It only comes, blooms for a day, and at the end of the day, it gets back to the earth once again. But even though it has got such a short span of life, it doesn't cry. It just dances with the wind. It lives its life to the fullest. So we must learn that from a hibiscus flower. Then the writer gives us example of a rock. Rock is such a hard thing, but still it forgets its harder part and it gets changed into different shape, the shape the water wants to give it. Same way, children, we learn lot of things from ants. Look at its dedication, look at its devotion, dedication, hard work, perseverance. It never loses its hope. Still, these ants try to carry a fly which is 10 times bigger than their size. So we learn to be focused, we learn to be consistent and organized from ants. Then also we can get example of spiders. Spiders, their webs are so delicate, yet it is very strong. We also can be like that. Then children, in short, we need to look at this mysterious miracle of the nature. We just look at it and we become the gold ourselves. Children, we have completed the lesson Alchemy of Nature. Do the textual activities and write personal response questions in your classwork. Thank you.